Roads home, the dynamic duo of mobile martyrdom, Mark and Sue. The Bonnie and Clyde of parking complaints, cruising around in two vans, united by a shared mission to film the slow, painful collapse of their own optimism and blame absolutely everyone else for it. Now Mark's in the front, king of the cab, sitting in a fully loaded luxury motorhome that probably costs more than most people's lifetime savings. Solar, satellite, swivel seats, the works. But you'd never know it, because he talks like he's living in a shopping trolley under a bridge. Meanwhile, Sue rolls up behind him in her hand-painted van, a whimsical self-build that looks like the background of a children's book, if the plot was about spiralling into passive-aggressive despair. Together, they form the least stealthy stealth-camping duo in the UK. Roads home, two vans, one pity party. And pity's the brand, isn't it? Every video starts with that same tortured sigh. That look of defeat. That moment where you think, surely today will be the day they just enjoy themselves for once? Nope. It's another 20-minute monologue from Mark about how the world's out to get him because he couldn't park on a grass verge for 6 weeks without someone reporting a fire risk. Let's talk about tone. Mark doesn't complain like a normal person. No, Mark moans like the government implanted a chip in his vape. Every slight inconvenience becomes a human rights violation. We've been moved on again, he says, parked next to a sign that literally says no overnight parking. It's like watching a man lose a game of Monopoly and then try to sue Hasbro for emotional damages. And then there's Sue, sweet, quiet, creative Sue, trapped in a pastel-painted support vehicle, nodding along while Mark rage rambles about council conspiracies like a Vanlife David Icke with a dash of Victor Meldrews. Now, I'll give Sue credit. That van's got heart. It's hand-built, painted, full of personality, and completely wasted when parked up for 2 weeks while Mark films his 300th video, titled "The System Wants Us Out." No, mate, the system just wants you to move your bins and stop shouting at seagulls. And just when you think it can't get more tragic, they turn up at Appleby horse fair, cameras in hand, no clue why they're there, filming like they've just landed on Mars. No respect, no awareness. Just awkward, slow pans of horses and bare feet, with a soundtrack of Mark whispering like Attenborough on ketamine. It's not van life, it's drive-by documentary tourism. Look, Sue, it's culture. Film it. Don't talk to anyone. Just capture the vibe and get back to the lay-by before the parking warden comes. Oh, and let's not forget their legendary Morecambe protest. 6 vans, 2 signs, and Mark wandering around like the ghost of park-ups past. They call it activism. I call it a community meet-up for professional whingers. No chants, no demands. Just Sue holding the camera while Mark rants about tyranny because someone asked him to put his awning in. It was less, I have a dream. And more, I have a parking grievance and a drone license. You want to talk about parking? How about finding a peaceful lay-by, then pulling in 2 full vans like you're forming a convoy for sadness? Sue parks behind like a pastel shadow, and suddenly the whole roadside looks like a travelling art installation on depression. They say they're living free, but watch the channel for more than 10 minutes and you'll realise they're not living at all. They're just existing loudly, under grey skies with the emotional range of a wet sponge. And the content? Oh, the content. Every title. We've had enough. This is getting serious. It's not safe anymore. Click it, and it's just Mark talking about how someone walked near his van with a clipboard, and now he's being targeted. Mate, you're not being targeted. You're being tolerated. Just about. Now look, I've got time for a cause. I've got time for actual resistance, for people taking a stand. But this isn't that. This is grievance cosplay, dressed up as a movement. They're not fighting for freedom, they're fighting for attention. And for all the talk of community, where's the warmth? Where's the support? Where's the moment where they stop moaning and say, thanks to everyone watching, we appreciate you? Nope, nothing. Just more melodrama, more moaning, and more montages of miserable countryside car parks. Honestly, it's like if Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh got a YouTube channel and a Patreon. Except instead of honeypots, it's overflowing bin bags and half-eaten Greggs. And don't even try and say this is real van life. I've lived nomadically for 50 years. Off-grid. On the road. I've seen real van life. Mud, sweat, breakdowns, freedom. Not this soap opera in reverse. Real van life is muddy boots, cheap meals, dodging fines, fixing leaks at 2 a.m. Not sitting in a 70k rig, sipping tea and broadcasting doom from a fully laminated dinette. So here it is, Mark and Sue. You're not rebels. You're not leaders. You're just tired. Tired of being challenged. Tired of compromise. Tired of anyone daring to suggest that maybe, just maybe, 2 full-sized vans parked in a scenic lay-by for a week might not be a sacred right. You've made your roads home, and somehow they all lead to the same place. An endless loop of moaning, martyrdom, and mediocre footage of grey skies and gravel. And the saddest part? You could have inspired people. You could have built something real. But instead, you built a channel that says more about what you hate than what you love. So turn off the drone. Stop filming the bin lorry like it's a SWAT team. Let Sue paint her van in peace. And maybe, just maybe, enjoy the van life you claim to be fighting for. Where hope goes to get stuck in a muddy lay-by and complain about signage. Wizzard out.